Hey everybody, Joe Passion Unchained here to help you live a love life, build a love life you love. Sex is awesome. That's what I'm going to talk about today. Sex is awesome, but are you having it out of insecurity? Are you having it because you feel you're not a good enough person? And I'm going to be a little nuanced here because it's not necessarily a horrible thing. So, let me explain. At the beginning, I had this conversation with a guy that I know. There's a lot of guys who are experienced with women and are confident with women, and they say I really wanted to get laid a lot, and then eventually I was just I realized that wasn't super important. I realized that it's not very important to get experience. You just got to feel connected to a girl. And then you hear inexperienced guys, most experienced guys say that. Inexperienced guys either go one of two ways. They'll be connection is what matters. But there's a weird emotion to it. It's almost like that's not the truth. They really want to have a lot of sex, but they don't want to say it for whatever reason. They either say that, or they'll say, I really want to have a lot of sex, and they'll just be honest about it. And I was having this conversation with a guy who's experienced. He's had a lot of experience with girls, and right now he's looking for something deeper, kind of like me. And he said something like, a lot of guys, when they first start going, dating girls and having sex, they try to have as much sex as they want, but really that's not what people need. And I'm like, well, how much sex have you had? And he's like, yeah, I've had sex with this many girls. And I'm like, well, you've been through that phase. The reason you don't feel you need to have experience is because you have experience. And this is a thing that I see, and I think it comes from the shame of being overtly sexual and trying to go for experience. Is guys who went through that phase will be I wish I never went through that phase because things that last are what matters. It's well, first of all, I did a video. Girls like sex. Yeah, girls don't like to feel used. Guys don't like to feel used. Girls are cool with casual sex as long as they don't feel used. As long as they know what's going on and that's what they want and you're honest about it. They want casual sex. I've had sex with a girl within an hour of meeting her behind a dumpster. Girls want casual sex. And she was happy. She texted me back and forth afterwards. She liked me. She lived a bit far away, so we didn't do anything after that. But that's what's going on. Girls like sex too. But guys tend to be oh, girls are all about connection. I did a whole video on that. I forgot what it's called, but I did a video on that a few days ago. But this guy was guys don't really need to go through that phase. And I'm well, you don't need to go through that phase because you went through that phase. And if an inexperienced guy who is saying that connection is so important, if he was super honest with himself and with you, he would be I just feel ashamed about wanting sex because I feel I should be wanting something more deep, which is understandable. But the thing is, I had another video about this. Wanting sex is not shallow. Sex is something that is an important part of being human. And in the pursuit of sex, us men, we become a better person. I've become a lot thinner. I would have lost weight regardless, but I wouldn't have gotten as lean as I am if I didn't like girls and want sex. I also worked on my fashion. I also worked on my grooming. I wouldn't be doing. I also work on my finances and my living space. I wouldn't be working on these things if I didn't like girls and want sex. Sex makes me a better man. I become nicer to people. I form relationships because I want to have a good life to invite girls into. And to some extent that's for me, but to some extent that's for girls. And that's a good thing because it's good motivation for us to become better men. So in the pursuit of sex, guys become better men to other people, to society. They are able to offer more. And so wanting sex is not a shallow thing. As long as you're honest about it, as long as you tell the girls if you're seeing other girls or if you're being honest about not leading them on, you're being honest with what you want with them, then there's nothing wrong with it. And if you just want to get laid, there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. And I really want to encourage guys who, Mark Manson is a really good example. I love his stuff. I think it's extremely important. But he also says, you need to go for connection first because that's what's most important. And I vehemently disagree with that. I vehemently disagree with his assertion that connection is more important than sex and that wanting sex is shallow. And if maybe I misinterpreted his words, but that's pretty much what he said in Models. And maybe he changed his mind because he wrote Models like several years ago. So if he changed his mind, he changed his mind. But if you are in a place where you want experience, like, and actually Mark Manson did say in that book, it's important to have a lot of experience. So, and try a lot of different types of girls and all the different types of relationships. So maybe he does agree with me more than I'm giving him credit for. But guys who are starting out, who are listening to more experienced guys, a lot of more experienced guys, they don't want to have a lot of sex anymore. That's me. Like I'm past the one night stand phase. I don't need to up my lay count or whatever. Like I'm past that phase. But if you're in that phase, people who are past that phase, a lot of them tend to throw away that phase of their life and call it a waste. When I think that that's the reason that they're so confident in the first place is they have that experience. The reason I'm confident in that I can get girls and that I'm really good at sex and that I know that a girl having sex with me is a win for her also, it's because I've had sex with a lot of girls. I've had a lot of sexual experience. I know I'm a catch. When I didn't have as much experience, I didn't know that. I was very insecure and unconfident, and if I had locked it down with a girl, there'll be a thing in the back of my mind being like, is this the best girl I can get? Am I really like, is this girl like really, are we both like, is this a good match? Because maybe I could get a hotter girl, or maybe I can't. Maybe she's going to leave me in like 2 weeks because I'm a really ugly guy. It's like, I don't know where I stand because I don't have experience. And the guys who are telling you, who have experience, that you don't need to go through that phase, they're just ashamed that they went through that phase. And they're in a different place now. But if you're in a different place, that doesn't mean that you have to throw away who you used to be. I love the fact that I went through this phase where I was having as much sex as possible because I learned so much about myself and I became a better man. So I wholeheartedly suggest that guys who are starting out or don't have too much experience, get experience honestly, and not leading a girl on to not like making her think you want a relationship if you don't, but get the experience that you need to feel confident so that when you are looking for something more in depth, if that's something you want at some point, you can do so comfortably, investing all of yourself into your partner because you know that you're ready for it. So I wish you the best. I hope this helped you out. I am the online dating profile photography guru. Go in, get your free profile critique from me, live video call. I will get on a call with you, just you and me, and I will go over your profile and tell you how you can improve it. Click the link in the description below and schedule a call with me for that. Also, subscribe here to get me every single day and hit the bell. Enjoy and goodbye.